Good evening and welcome to another episode of Lincoln Mari Podcast. This is where we have amazing conversations with some of the trailblazers in our country and throughout the world. Today I have such a special opportunity to have a conversation with somebody so dear, somebody I've admired and worked with for so many years. This is somebody who is at the most senior levels in financial services in South Africa, who sits at the top of a bank. This is somebody who's dedicated about 36 years in financial services. Somebody who's a mom, somebody who's a leader, somebody who's a coach, somebody who's developed so many people. I have great pleasure to introduce to you Ms. Hannah Sadiki, the MD of Bidvest and the CEO of Bidvest Financial Services. Siswa, thank you so much for agreeing to have this conversation.
It's a pleasure, Bujam. You know, I would do this anytime for you. It's a pity we haven't done it much earlier.
I know.
I'm excited to be here and I'm honored. I'm truly honored.
I'm pinching myself because I know the gems that are going to come from this conversation, because what you have in Hannah is a genuine person and a true leader. But I wanted it to come from her to say, how do you define leadership for you? When you hear this thing, leader, what comes out to you?
So, Lincoln, I think when we read books, it speaks about the fact that it's someone who's put in the forefront of a pack to guide and influence people, society, organizations. And that for me sometimes comes with a challenge.
Yeah.
It comes with a challenge that we think that's it, that we just, we know it all. We have the intelligence, the knowledge, and the power to guide and influence. And I have always said that my definition of leadership is someone who knows how to be in the front.
Yes.
Is someone who knows to be on the side. Is someone who also knows how to lead from the back. And at all times, not changing who they are, being consistent in the messaging that they give to people, in the guiding and the influencing, whether you're leading in front or at the back. And it's called at a time of need. The leadership for me is someone who's able to lead in the front in times of trouble. So when we're going to war, a true leader is the one that actually is in the front.
Yes.
And when there's a celebratory moment, they're able to actually stand at the back. And when there's time to influence and guide, you have to be on the same line as your soldiers and be able to understand what is happening and view the landscape in the same way as your team, your society, your organization. And so that's how I define it. I define it in it's three positions you get that are not just about leading.
And so when a lot of young leaders look up to you and they say, CEO of a financial institution, MD of a bank, but leadership should be about the role and the status. You haven't mentioned the status and all of that at all.
True, Lincoln, because I think that the title is what government require to recognize what my job is about, or clients, or individuals that are not inside.
Yes.
People inside the organization that have been given the responsibility and accountability to lead need not feel or see the title, but actually feel and see the work that we do together.
Yes.
I often say, I worked for very interesting leaders who would walk into an environment and know the most lowest staff member, and I'm using a very derogatory way because it's not a way that leader would say. They would say, from a grading of an organization, these are the lower people and the senior. They would know names from the lowest to the most senior, and they would walk in, hug, greet, ask about family, ask about their health if they've had that. in the same way. And therefore it meant they didn't put title up front. And you're one of them.
Yes.
You used to walk into branches with us and you would know most of the names. If you didn't remember the name, it's because you had seen the person once or twice.
Yes.
But you put pressure on us indirectly because we watched you as a leader. We watched Jacomare. I personally watched Jacomare as a leader who would stop and greet.
Yes.
We have a tendency of just flying through because, you know, we walking the title.
And your title is not going to disappear, eh?
No.
When you greet.
And it's not written on your forehead. It's not on your forehead. It's not behind you on your shoulders as a badge. The badge is when people know that they can come to you in good times and in bad times.
One of the most fascinating things about you is how you've risen through the ranks. Could you just tell my audience just a snippet of what that has meant for you?
Okay, so I mean, I rose from a teller. It humbles me even today. It's 37 years in financial services, and I look back as a girl from Middlelands, just outside of Soweto, and say, well, you're now a CEO of a bank. It's a big deal from what it means. What it means for me is that I am the example of hope, of nothing is impossible, to that young girl that's in Middlelands that sits in the house that is a train, that has a 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom, or in a shack, that it can be done. That you don't have to come from educated homes, from rich families to get to where I am. So that's what it means for me. The title itself means nothing. It's what it reflects to someone. When I park at my mom's house, which I still do in Meadowlands, I don't think people in Meadowlands see the CEO. They actually, at the best of times, wonder, but Hannah, you know, what are you doing here? Almost, what do you want here? You know, I had as an example, Lincoln, I have my sister who stays in Winnie Mandela's water camp. And she had a function, and you bring it out, you know, and you walk in and you cook like everyone else. And late in the evening, we had youngsters, and I like chatting to youngsters. It's my thing. And the one lady was talking about her job and how difficult her boss is, and I just, the natural me is, what are you doing that creates the difficulty? How can I help you rethink how you walk into the job? And she said, what do you do? And then I told her. And she said, can you be that? And I said, yeah, I can wear all stars and still be there. And she said, for her, the important part was that I was sitting with them and they didn't feel that. They didn't see that. They didn't even think it. And she said, I wish we had more bosses like that. I wish we had more leaders like that.
Wow.
And so the meaning of being from a teller to a CEO is how do we show up and be the light?
Along the path of all of these promotions, to get to be from a teller to a bank CEO is a lot of promotions over a long time, and adapting to so much change. What are the key things you can kind of say to a young person, those things carried you through all of the promotions and all of the changes?
Nicola, I think there's 5 things that I hold dear to my heart. The first one is just me being me. Just being true to who I am. Because then the people that are looking at me for the next role need to know what they're getting. And I mustn't be confused in trying to be what I am not, because you live a schizophrenic life. So that's the one thing that I kept all the time. As soon as I understood that being true to myself brings the better of me. Second is not allowing myself to conform. You know, a lot of the times we we waver because
Yes.
you're trying to conform with what others are expecting of you, that it may not even be good, may not even align with your values,
Yes.
may not even be the right thing to do. When you are true to yourself and you don't just conform,
Yeah.
you do what you know is right.
Yeah.
You stand your ground.
Yeah.
It's less work.
Yeah.
It is really less work.
Yeah.
And thirdly is having the courage.
Yeah.
It took me a long time to be able to, I come from a home where I was encouraged to be inquisitive.
Yes.
As my friends used to call me Jajara.
Yes.
I love that way because I keep saying people
Yes.
is have the courage to ask, have the courage to say, I don't know. Have the courage to say, I really feel overwhelmed by what I'm being asked to do.
Yes.
Have the courage to say no. It took me a long time to also be able to say that. And have the courage to take on something I've never ever done before.
Yes.
When people believe that they think I can do it. A few of my leaders actually saw that which I didn't see.
Yes.
And what I needed was to have the courage when they said, we see you.
Yes.
When they said, you can.
Yeah.
And then I walked in with, okay, I can.
Yes.
And then fourth for me is that hard work never kills.
Absolutely.
We can't expect things to come. Successful people really work hard. The most intelligent people, your Newtons of this world, tell you that they've tried and tried and tried and tried. So they worked at it.
Yes.
And that is and hard work does not mean you don't work smart.
Yes.
It's just being clear on what you want to achieve and working at it. And lastly is failure is an opportunity of growth.
Yeah.
Mistakes and failure,
Yes.
we hit ourselves very hard when we failed. So that second point I spoke about, that point of courage, is owning that failure, is owning that mistake, is owning that you thought you knew what you were doing, but it didn't work out. And it's not hiding it because you don't get help.
So I mean, as someone who's known you for so long, I can vouch for that authenticity and that you are you, right? You are what you get. Now, I come here and I don't know what's going to happen when I walk into this building and I'm going to see the CEO of the building. But the vibe here is the vibe that I've always associated with Hannah, of there's like people are laughing, chatting, but working hard.
Yeah.
So how do many young leaders loosen up? Because some of them think that to be a boss or a leader, you gotta be like, how can, because you and I have been criticized a lot about this thing of being who we are, but it's not acceptable. You are
Prim and proper.
Yes.
So I think there's a time and place to be prim and proper.
Yes.
I think you speak about knowing me very well. You'll know that in front of staff on a serious matter that needs to be dealt, I would be there.
Yes.
So it's knowing the right place and the right time to actually bring that prim and properness. But also people, even in the prim and properness, want to know your heart because your genuineness is around your heart.
Yes.
My and what I struggled with in the roles and excuse me, and I think you've seen it when I was working with you or working for you or working, that because excellence is one of the things that I don't like negotiating, is that I would be hard on our teams.
Yes.
I would be very hard. I remember you, and I will never forget, in Kempton Park at a conference, you said, Hannah, people gave us 100%. And you went on stage and you said, but. And I've worked at that but is to celebrate.
Yes.
And then at the same time know that there is a time for that work. So how do people loosen up? Is if you do not celebrate to create the enthusiasm, to create the, the appreciation. People want to be appreciated for the work that they've put in, even if it's not fully there. But you appreciate that, you know what, we didn't get 110%, we got 80%. But I saw you giving your all. Thank you. Let's celebrate.
Yes.
You encourage them to do more. You encourage them to want to do more.
Yeah.
We are not robots.
Exactly.
You know, so we want to hear that it's okay.
Yes.
You know, you're not there, it's okay. So I encourage here, I think the team we have here is the team that said, we have an opportunity to build a culture of what we want.
Yes.
So we work hard.
Yes.
This team here, last week, I think 3 days of the week, we started meetings at 7, we finished at 8, we were preparing for this week. We're preparing for an imbizo for the staff. So, and it's middle of budget and what have you. But we know and we remind each other that we are human.
Yes.
We have families, we have a life.
Yes.
The people that need to make sure that they encourage you are the ones at home that go, I know today, this week you work hard, but Hannah said all of you must, you know, take a half day on Friday. Tonight we're going to celebrate.
Yes.
You know, and it's that ability to get people to stop and breathe.
Yeah.
Because you then give them the opportunity to have the space to think, have oxygen in their heads.
Yeah.
And you know, the bulk of what we've done in turning around this business in the last 18 months, half of the ideas have come from giggles and laughs in one of the rooms or in my office. My team, when I say to them, hey, you know, I didn't sleep last night. The first thing my CFO Tendani says is, oh my God, what now?
Yeah.
And it's not, I didn't sleep because I was stressed out. I was thinking about something and I got excited and I started scribbling.
Yes.
And that's what we find ourselves doing. Our once a month Friday in that room of just pole.
Yeah.
People in a relaxed manner go, Mara Lincoln, that thing that you did, I think we could have done better.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Yes.
If you did that, you could have done. And it's where ideas come and then we pick them up.
Yes.
And it's also allowed people not to go, it's Lincoln's job.
Yes. Yes.
It's built us to become a team.
And everybody plays their part.